Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the third attempted recording of this video. Yeah, I'm just a bit of a rambler when I talk to my deck techs. There's just so much to talk about and so little time before your attention goes away. But anyways, with that being said, welcome to the Damage Matters deck tech. It is thankfully a budget deck, like a true budget deck as well. You can literally build off from the whatchamacallit hyena starter deck that Shimmering Skies came with, because I know a lot of these cards are contained within it. But if you ever get access to somebody's bulk collection, or your local scene has a thriving community, you should be able to pick up all of these cards for very cheap. So, with that being said, let's talk about this deck. As the name implies, this is a Damage Matters deck. Your big win conditions are Prince Philip, Robin Hood, Ed, and then Bonsai, because Bonsai is just really strong. 3-2 for 2 lore. Oh my god, this card is so strong. And I can talk about that more in depth later, but for right now, let me just tell you that this deck works shockingly better than what I gave it credit for. The consistency of Tug of War, Grab Your Sword, and then also I've messed around with the ratios a bit, where you can also run Avalanche, and I just found that including Avalanche made one too many inkable cards, but I would do something like this, go down the Tug of War for one Avalanche. Regardless, you get the idea. It's very simple. You play Ed turn 4. Turn 5, you play Grab Your Sword or Tug of War or Avalanche, and then you just start questing with Ed. Because Grab Your Sword is either going to be wiping their board, and then you just have a 2-4 with 3 lore that's questing, or they can't challenge it back. And then if you get to turn 6, or you don't have, or they've been like killing off all of your stuff, instead you can try and stick a morph and shift into Prince Philip after you play Tug of War or Avalanche, which is also really strong. Because Prince Philip, obviously, when you play his character, banish all opposing damage characters. Hilariously, I keep winning before I need to play him, and he often ends up inked. But it's not as if Morph doesn't have alternative targets in Robin Hood, Sneaky Sleuth, and also just that's it. That's really all he's got. Robin Hood or Prince Philip. There was another shift target before. This deck keeps being messed around with. I don't have the final version, but because it's below $30 total, I have no problem recommending this deck to people, because it's the same price as a starter deck, and I was able to beat tier 1 decks with it. The tier 1 deck that I beat that was really relevant was I beat a Amethyst Emerald mid-range bounce deck. I have no idea how that happened. I don't think it's recreatable, or at least not that consistent. I think I just drew like a god. I wish I had recorded that game, but regardless, this deck can actually win against big, powerful, strong decks. And then it will just obliterate all decks that aren't focused in their game plans, and or don't have that strong of a package, aka just like a lot of decks you'll be running into at your local scene, while also not being so high in power that you just obliterate all of those decks as well, right? So very good budget deck is what I should say. Just very good. Now, let's go to the other version of this deck. Non-budget Damage Matters deck. Um Yeah, don't build this version. This version is just the Steel Emerald mid-range package, except I've shoved in the Damage Matters package, which severely lowers the strength of the deck, so it becomes a tier 1, tier 2 deck to just straight to a tier 3 deck. However, hilariously, I am 2 and 1 against discard control. 2-0 against, what was it? I think it was Amber Steel Song Choice. And then like I just kept winning. I'm like, what? What's happening? Uh this is not the final list. Do not build this list unless you literally have all of these cards lying around and you just want to try it. But if you were to try and build this seriously, the first thing you do is you cut out all of the Damage Matters package, just all of it. Shenzi's bad, Scar's bad. Ed has grown on me. I don't think Ed is actually that bad, but he is bad if you run this deck more properly, where you do this, you do that, you do a little bit of this, some of that. Then you go Beast, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you go Diablo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and then you go Whole new world. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wow, would you look at that? I suddenly made a tier 1 deck. Well, it's not complete, but you get the idea. If you wanted to build this deck, the mid-range Emerald Steel deck is just so much better than the Damage Matters package I had shoved into it. Uh, Emerald Steel has not been fully explored in my mind yet. I haven't fully explored it either, but it definitely has enough support to be relevant. You just need to run just a bit more action cards to make Diablo slightly more relevant, which isn't hard because Emerald has some of the most crazy action cards, and by crazy I mean not that great, but you can find ways of using this deck more efficiently if you cut out the Damage Matters package. However, that could be incorrect. Like, it did win because of the Damage Matters package. The regular version of this deck kind of struggles a little bit. I'd have to mess around with it. But you get the idea. Build the budget version, and if you're interested in a tier 1 deck, I will get to those soon. But that's it from me. I hope you had a wonderful time. Please do consider hitting that subscribe and like button and leave a comment down below for what you would want to see next. Okay, bye.